I'm sharing how sustainable fashion brands can produce consistent content without burning out so that they can have an engaged community of loyal customers. Make sure you stay tuned to the end of this video because I'm also sharing exactly how we plan our content at Recloseted. It's gonna be a step-by-step tutorial, so don't miss out. Without any further ado, let's dive in. My first strategy is that you need to create content that adds value. Nowadays, you don't want to just be posting for the sake of posting. You want to go at it from a very strategic approach of getting an engaged community of your ideal customers so that you have people to sell to. At the end of the day, followers, subscribers, those are all vanity metrics and they don't really mean anything at the end of the day. What you really want to be looking at is if you're gathering a community of your ideal customers that are actually going to translate into sales. And the way you do that is by getting and curating content that adds value. Because if you think about it, people will only follow you, people will only subscribe to you, and people will only want to consume your content if they're getting something out of it. Because if they're not, the alternative is that you're just adding noise to an already very noisy world. And if you're on social media and you're seeing things that doesn't resonate with you and you can tell people are just posting for the sake of posting, you're likely going to unfollow because it seems spammy. And so it's really, really important to create content that adds value. Give your ideal customers a reason to follow you. And in order to ensure that your content is strategic and adding value, my next strategy is to leverage content pillars. Essentially, these are themes for your content that you know you always touch on. I don't want you to be in a situation where you're waking up every morning and you're trying to figure out what to post. It is so important to be intentional and pre-plan your content, and that's where these content pillars come into play. So what we recommend to our clients is to have at least 3 content pillars, and they should be as follows. You should first of all have some brand building content. So this is content that is going to build up your brand and it's going to help you with reach, getting traffic to your business, and ensuring that you get in front of as many eyeballs as possible. I'm going to give an example shortly, but the first one is brand building content. The second one is more nurturing or behind the scenes content because we want to ensure that you have an emotional connection with your ideal customer. If you think about it, if someone is emotionally connected to you and the brand and they know your story as a founder, they know why you're starting this brand, they can see your decision process from deciding what materials to use, to what manufacturer to use, to your design process, they're just gonna feel more invested and more involved in your journey. And that heightens the likelihood that they share it with other people and also heightens the likelihood that they're gonna give you their credit card and they wanna support you when you do have things to sell them. And so nurturing content is really, really important. And then last but not least, you wanna have sales content as well. Because at the end of the day, you are a business, and so you need to be telling people, hey, I have things that you can buy, we have things that will add value to your life, and so that's the last kind of content pillar you wanna think about. And we're very strategic with these content pillars because it reflects the sales funnel, and essentially we wanna make sure that you have brand building content so you can drive traffic to your business. And then we want to warm up your leads with the nurturing content. So that's the founder content, that's the behind the scenes content, and really involve them in your journey. So that's kind of the middle of the funnel. And then last but not least, we're going to have content that really converts. So that's the bottom of the funnel. Because again, people need to know that you're selling things so that they can give you their money and support you. And so that is the sales funnel. And so essentially you're gonna have these content pillars and be very, very intentional about how and what you're posting. You're getting a lot out of these strategies. You're gonna love my free 60-minute launch masterclass. I'm not holding back and I'm gonna be sharing 3 secret strategies. First of all, you're getting our proven process on how to design beautiful, high quality pieces, even if you don't have a fashion background. Secondly, you're gonna be getting our tried and true system on how to find sustainable materials and ethical manufacturers. Last but not least, you're gonna get the exact roadmap on how to build an engaged community of customers from scratch so that when you launch, it's not crickets and you have a wildly successful 20K plus launch. We have limited spots, so make sure you snag yours at recloseted.com/masterclass. I can't wait to see you there, and now let's dive back into the video. Once you have figured out your content pillars, my next strategy is to batch your content 1 month in advance. What I mean by that is you're going to sit down and pre-plan every single month's worth of content. So I don't want you, again, to be waking up every morning frantically trying to figure out what you're gonna post. Instead, you're gonna pre-plan your content 1 month in advance. So what I mean by that is, let's pretend we're in January. So at the beginning of January, you're gonna sit down and pre-plan what you're gonna do for February. Same thing in February. You're going to sit down, pre-plan what you're going to do in March. And so that way, you're really, really organized. You're not trying to spend hours and hours every single week on content. You're just doing it once a month. That saves you so much time and can really help you from burning out, but can also help you stay consistent because you've now planned a whole month's worth of content. So our process is at the beginning of every single month, we sit down and we make note of anything we want to talk about. So any special holidays, anything we want to promote internally, and just anything in general you have going on. So if you have a launch or something like that, obviously you want to make note of that. To help you batch your content every single month, this is a good segue into my next strategy, which is to have a monthly content planning document or planning template. At Recloseted, we leverage Airtable, and that's what we recommend to our clients as well. There's a link down below for you to try Airtable for free, not sponsored, but Airtable is really, really helpful in terms of keeping all this data to make sure you're organized. And now I'm going to share my screen and show you exactly how we plan out our content at Recloseted using Airtable so that you know what that process looks like and you can essentially copy it for your business. This is an example of what your monthly content planning document can look like on Airtable. Essentially, the goal is that you sit down, you set it up once, and then you can just copy it every single month so you don't even have to think about what you need to post. So this is the template that we use at Recloseted. We create something different for our clients, but for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to show you what we use at Recloseted. Essentially, we have a template and then we have it by type. So this is content type. Is it a reel? Is it a post? Is it a story? Is it a LinkedIn post? Is it a blog? Is it an email? What is it? And then we also have it by status. So is it something that we're planning right now? Do I need to be filming a reel? Is this a graphic we're creating? Have we scheduled the content yet? So there's by status, and then we can organize it by publish date as well. And so essentially, my favorite view is always by type because I just think that's the easiest, but you'll just want to make sure that you have posts for week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and week 5. And this is just because some months obviously have 5 weeks, and if they don't, you just easily delete them. And so our process every single month is we duplicate the table and then we add in the month name. And then what we do is we come in and we add in the publish dates. So everything's incorporated there. We delete any posts that don't need to be there. And you'll see that we have all these different columns like the graphic, the video file, the caption or the copy link. If we need a cover for the reels, the hashtags we're going to use, the channel it's being posted on, the publish date, the Canva template, and any inspo and how the post is doing. And so it's really important to keep everything centralized, and Airtable does such a good job of that. And then the other thing with this too is I just want this to be as easy for you as possible. Don't make your content overwhelming. If you just sit down, set up your strategy, and then every single month you just simply copy it and you just need to add in some captions, graphics, repurpose any content you can, then that can make your life so much easier. So make sure you take the time to set up something like this. Again, we set this up for our clients. We're just not going to show you what we give our clients because they obviously pay for it. But for you, I'm happy to show you what we do at Recloseted, and then you can make something that works for you. So leverage our Airtable link down below. You can try it for free. This is not sponsored, but honestly, I've tried a lot of different systems and this has just worked the best for us. So happy to share that with you. And now let's dive back into the video. For our clients, we create monthly planning templates that they can just easily swipe and use for your business. But in your case, you'll just want to make sure you take the time to set it up. It is so worth it to take the time and set it up now so that every single month you can simply copy it and leverage it. And it's just like clockwork. You make it so easy. You don't even have to think about it. And that's how you can be consistent, produce great content without burning out. And my next strategy to help you be consistent but not burn out is to repurpose your content. What I mean by that is you're going to try to extend the life of your content so that it can go further, because producing content takes so much work and I don't want you to burn out. And so instead, let's try to slice and dice your content so that it can go as far as possible. So what you're going to do is take a long form piece of content such as YouTube videos, podcast episodes, or even blog posts and take them and turn them into an email. Or you can take it and turn it into social media caption, or you can turn it into a carousel text graphic. What you're going to do is just take that one piece of long content and transfer it into shorter pieces of content. At Recloseted, we do YouTube videos, obviously. We also have our Recloseted Radio podcast. Additionally, we have our blog as well. So these are all long form pieces of content that we produce. So then that way we can do social media captions, we can do emails, we also do carousel graphics, and there's just so much you can do with the content, but it doesn't mean that, for Instagram Reels you have to do one thing, and then for YouTube you have to do another thing, or for TikTok you have to do another thing. Like, really think about how you can repurpose your content so that you just have to make it once, but then all of a sudden it's on all these different platforms. So think about that and really layer that into your strategy. On top of that, my next strategy is to create templates. I talked already about that Airtable or master content template you want to make, but you also want to make graphic templates, caption templates, so that every time you sit down and you batch your content, you're not starting from scratch. You know exactly what you're going to do, what graphics you can leverage, and that way it's really like clockwork. You don't have to really think about it. You can just sit down and really get it all done. And then my next strategy as well is to analyze the data, because you want to see what content's working and what content isn't working. And of course, we're going to double down on the content that's working. And then for the content that's not working, think about why. Is it the content itself? Is it the graphics? Is it maybe the time that you're posting it at? And really tweak and iterate. The important thing when analyzing this data as well is to ensure you're always talking to your ideal customer, because at the end of the day, this content is really for them and you want to give and add value to their lives. So regularly poll them to see if they're resonating with it and what they want to see from it. If you got a lot out of these strategies, friendly reminder that I am hosting a free 60-minute launch masterclass. It's going to be so helpful for you. I am not holding back, and you can register at recloseted.com/masterclass. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them down below. I also did another content strategy video, so make sure you watch that as well so that you can really think about how to best grow your audience. Together, let's transform the harmful fashion industry.